The main thing we need to do is outreach and education, because most of the times the reason pots are lost is because of user error. I used to work as a biologist on commercial fishing boats off of the coast, and we would work on trawlers and we'd pull derelict crab pots up in the nets. But I had no idea how extensive it was. We filled that boat up that day with crab pots. I mean, had them stacked up as high as you could go, and we didn't go very far. Like, it wasn't, we go to this part of the bay, we go to this part of the bay, we go to this part of the bay. We stayed in a really small area, you know. We'd get a crab pot, maybe get a couple crab pots there and putter just a little bit and get some more, you know. So the density of it down there was really surprising to me, you know, and then just seeing the crab that are trapped in there, and it makes you, once you get that visualization, you really realize it.
Hi, it's Kenny from the Northwest Straits Foundation, and welcome to Salish Sea Strings, a musical voyage between conservationists and musicians who come together to make the Salish Sea a vibrant and healthy place to live. In this series, we'll hear from local artists who have a passion for conserving and restoring the Salish Sea, and we'll talk with scientists, educators, and leaders working on exciting marine projects in your area. We'd like to thank our partners, Subdued Studios and Stone's Throws Brewing Company, for all of their help with this episode. Right now, Bellingham band Bob Fossil's warming up. Let's go check them out. Sounds good, boys. Let's play some tunes.
'cause I know that you don't trust me. None of it matters, darling. When I'm with you, I feel happy. None of it matters, darling, 'cause I know that you don't trust me. I wasn't looking for your long-term care. Now that I found it, I hope that it stays there. Doing great, Ben, Evan, Connor, Jason, Corey, Alan, Eric. The morale is high. Jeremy, Kevin, Vader. Boys ready? Okay, we're rolling. This song is called Feel Good. I was told if you write a good song, people will like you. Go in the proper game, they'll spot you. Well, I've slung hate at many people before, for the same reasons that I've told. Trying to be better, I'm trying to reform. Voice from above says to be happy. No, it's not God, 'cause we don't converse no more. Oh, I now realize that I can't please everybody. People will enjoy what they enjoy. Singing in the first place, I'm trying to foster me a fan base. Listen to my thoughts and dreams. I want them to tell me how they feel about my writing. What they hate, what they want, what they need. I can't please them, but I'll please you. Can't please them, but I'll please you. I said I can't please them, but I'll please you. I can't please them, but I'll please you. At the end of it all, you're the only one I got. You're the only one I got. Then together we'll ride. You're the only one I got. You're the only one I got. You're the only one I got. There'll be no one next to me. You're the only one I got. You're the only one I got. You're the only one I got. Wouldn't turn will hold my feet. The wooden turn will hold my feet. The wooden turn will hold my feet. The wooden turn. That's what I'm singing in the first place. Trying to foster me a fan base. Go listen to my thoughts and dreams. I want them to tell me how they feel about my writing. What they hate, what they want, what they need. Can't please them, but I'll please you. I said I can't please them, but I'll please you. I said I can't please them, but I'll please you. I can't please them, but I'll please you. At the end of it all, you're the only one I got. You're the only one I got. Together we'll ride. You're the only one I got. You're the only one I got. You're the only one I got. No one next to me. You're the only one I got. You're the only one I got. You're the only one I got. Wooden turn will hold my feet. Wooden turn will hold my feet. The wooden turn will hold my feet. The wooden turn. Singing in the first place, trying to foster me a fan base. Listen to my thoughts and dreams. I want them to tell me how they feel about my writing. What they hate, what they want, what they need. Can't please them, but I'll
Well, thanks for listening to the first two songs of our set. I'm now going to have a conversation with Jason Morgan, Marine Projects Manager for the Northwest Straits Foundation. We're going to talk about Dungeness crab, the Salish Sea, restoration, and more. Stay tuned.
Thanks to our partners at Stone's Throw Brewing Co. Check out their new 16-ounce Crowler cans available for purchase. The closest pint to adventure is now on the go.
Jason, how's it going? How you doing?
It's going great. Enjoying an evening of live music, which you don't get to do too much these days. So
That's right.
I'm happy to be here.
That's right. It's been nice to connect with the people, virtually albeit, but, been able to play some music, talk about the work we do at the foundation, talk about the work you're doing at the foundation, and the Salish Sea as a whole. So, Jason, why is Dungeness crab an important resource for you and for the rest of us living in the Salish Sea region?
For me personally, when I first think of the Dungeness crab, I think of fun on the water with my family, with my 4-year-old daughter and my wife. I think of good food. It's one of the treasured resources that we have. And, some of the things that are really great about Dungeness crab in our region, for one, we hear a lot of the doom and gloom about species that are struggling, like salmon and orcas. And Dungeness crab is doing pretty well. I know we have problems in South Sound, but most of the Sound is doing pretty well. And then another thing, it's a easily accessible resource for people to get out and to enjoy. You don't need a big expensive boat to go enjoy it. It certainly helps if you have a big expensive boat. You can explore more.
Right.
But up until this year, I've been crabbing from a canoe. People crab from kayaks, paddleboards, snorkeling, diving, just walking out in the intertidal.
Sure.
So you don't need to have a big fancy boat. The gear is relatively inexpensive. The licenses are relatively inexpensive. So it's just a great way for people, family, and friends to get out and enjoy time on the water.
Do you have a favorite Dungeness crab recipe?
Crab cakes.
Crab cakes?
Crab cakes, but I'm from the East Coast, so I do a little bit of East Coast style. There's some Old Bay in there.
That's good.
Very little filler, but yeah.
That's good. Old Bay is a key ingredient in crab cakes, in case you all didn't know. So you're talking about, how a lot of other species in the Salish Sea have threats to their populations, threats to their existence. Can we talk about, what are potential threats to Dungeness crab populations?
Some of the common threats that are threats to many of the species we have in the Salish Sea are things like degradation of habitat, pollution, but something that's unique to Dungeness crab is the loss of gear. So lost crab pots, we call them derelict crab pots. There's about 12,000 crab pots that are lost in Puget Sound every year, more than 12,000. And once these pots are lost, they do what they're designed to do with nobody to pull them up and harvest the crab. So they continue to catch and kill crab, and they can continue to fish for over 2 years. And the loss of these pots per year is causing the loss of about 180,000 harvestable crab every year. So that's a big threat to the population. Luckily, it's a preventable threat in which we're working to remedy.
Can you talk a little bit about the work Northwest Straits Foundation is doing with derelict gear, derelict gear removal, and kind of how your job and the things you oversee and how it operates?
We've done a lot of research projects over the years to better understand what the problem is, what the impacts are, and what the solutions are. We remove the gear. It's not feasible to remove over 12,000 crab pots a year. It'd be ridiculously expensive.
Sure.
So we do removals with divers in small areas. We know they're going to have high density lost crab pots in there, and we do small removals like that. We've removed about just over 5,900 crab pots. But really the main thing we need to do is outreach and education, because most of the times the reason pots are lost is because of user error. So things like not having enough weight in your pot, not having a long enough line to account for changes in depth and tidus and currents. We started the Catch More Crab campaign, I believe it was about 4 years ago, where we're really reaching out, doing dockside education. We have instructional videos, a host of resources for people to go out and learn how to be effective at crabbing, how to not lose their crab pots and catch more crab.
And so have you noticed, a good effectiveness with that campaign, been able to reach a lot of people?
We've definitely reached a lot of people. Since we launched that campaign, we've been reaching over 350,000 people a year.
Nice.
The part that's difficult when you're doing outreach, it's hard to measure success, especially with something like this, because we can't go out and, and just survey and figure out how many pots are lost each year. So whether or not we're changing the behavior is something we're trying to figure out. And we have a project we're in the middle of right now where we're trying to work on that. It's in partnership with the Jefferson and Clallam County Marine Resources Committees, where we're doing 3 consecutive years of crab for pot removals in Port Townsend and Dungeness bays. And then the MRCs over there, they're leading the local outreach campaigns there and trying out different outreach strategies. And the idea is, if we can do removals in the same bays for consecutive years, we can see if our outreach is having an effect. Because we have a base after year 1, and now we can see if our pot loss rate is changing over the years. So we know we're reaching a lot of people, but we're trying to find out if we're really having an effect on their behavior.
Sure, and we're talking about, changing people's behavior throughout the region. So is there a place to go where people can find this information, like maybe certain, key examples that you could list just right now about how people can help sustain Dungeness crab population by crabbing properly?
Absolutely. If you visit our website, on our projects page, we have a Catch More Crab page. And so if you visit that page, it's going to have a host of resources for you. So first off, there's just a basic checklist that you go through. Weight your crab pot. Make sure you have line that's a minimum a third longer than the depth that you're fishing in. Make sure you're checking your tides and currents before you go out. Making sure you're not dropping your pots in vessel traffic lanes like ferry lanes. So it's a list of tips of what to do. And then on there, we also have several instructional videos as well to teach you what to do, understand the regulations. And then we also have links to different websites and apps like tides and currents apps and stuff to help you along the way as well.
Mm-hmm. And so you talk about, the work we're doing in Port Townsend and Dungeness Bays, and work that, the foundation has done throughout the years removing derelict gear. Could you give us like a little bit of a walkthrough of maybe an experience on a derelict gear removal boat? I'm sure you've been on many before. Kind of like what goes into that? How is it working with those divers? And, what kind of things could you expect to see, some things that ever like blow your mind about how big of an issue it is, or,
Sure. I was... I think it was like my first day on the job, my first or second day on the job with the Northwest Straits Foundation about 6 years ago. I actually was out in Port Townsend Bay, and I went on a boat out there. I was aware of the problem. I had researched the foundation a lot before when I moved to the Bellingham area. I used to work as a biologist on commercial fishing boats off of the coast, and we would work on trawlers and we'd pull derelict crab pots up in the nets. But I had no idea how extensive it was. What was really amazing to me going out on that boat, because we filled that boat up that day with crab pots. Had them stacked up as high as you could go, and we didn't go very far. Like, it wasn't, we go to this part of the bay, we go to this part of the bay, we go to this part of the bay. We stayed in a really small area. We'd get a crab pot, maybe get a couple crab pots there and putter just a little bit and get some more, So the density of it down there was really surprising to me, and then just seeing the crab that are trapped in there, and it makes you, once you get that visualization, you really realize it.
And for the most part, when you pick up the pot, are a lot of those crab alive still? Are they dead crab? Or does it varies?
So usually when we're pulling the pot up, usually most of the crab are alive, and that's because crabs will eat other crabs.
Yep.
And so when you have a derelict crab pot, it's like a self-feeding mechanism. So you have the food that's in there, and then crabs eat the food, and then food's gone, crab die, and other crabs say, oh, there's somebody I can go in there and eat. And so it's kind of a self-feeding thing that'll happen. So usually when we get them up, the dead crab, or, if you get a pot full of crab, they probably munched up that, the crab that were in there. So most of them that we do get are alive.
Right. Yeah, no, that's super interesting. That was something I hadn't really thought about as to, I guess, Dungeness crab cannibalism. I didn't really know that was a thing. So how does your work at the Northwest Straits Foundation, support sustaining this resource for future generations? We've talked a lot about derelict gear removal, Dungeness crab, but kind of just, to sum it all up for everyone at home, why is your role and the Northwest Straits Foundation an integral part of helping the Dungeness crab population?
I think collectively, we like the fisheries that we have here. We like sustainable fisheries, and we want to see them continue. We want to see the ones that aren't doing well, we want to see those bounce back so we can have sustainable fisheries all around. And so what we're doing with the Dungeness crab fishery in general, is first of all, we're trying to maintain what is going good and potentially make it better. So, the main thing we need to do is just reduce the amount of derelict crab pots that are going out there. So the Catch More Crab outreach campaign is really the focus of our work, and I think if we can do a good job of that, we can really help out the Dungeness crab population. And it goes beyond Dungeness crab. Chinook salmon, coho salmon, they'll eat on crab larvae. So bolstering our Dungeness crab population can also help our salmon populations, which are struggling as well.
All right, so it's like a ripple effect. Everything else is going to benefit from it as well. Cool. Is there anything you want to say to our virtual audience today about the Northwest Straits Foundation, or about the Salish Sea?
Sure. The last thing I'd like to say would be a call to action to the audience. I hope you have the opportunity, and I hope you do get out and enjoy our crab fishery. But when you do that, please do your best to make sure you're being a responsible crabber. Nobody wants to lose crab pots. I'm sure everyone feels bad when it does happen, but we have the resources to make sure that doesn't happen to you. So please go to our website, visit our Catch More Crab page, look at our tips, look at our online resources, our videos that we have for you, and make sure you're geared up correctly so you don't lose your pot and you have a successful day out on the water.
Well, Jason, it was great talking with you. Thanks for talking about Dungeness crab and everything you do for the Northwest Straits Foundation.
You're welcome, man. Good. Thanks for having me.
I got to get back out there.
All right.
And thank you to our second partner, Subdued Studios, for letting us use their recording space.
We got some more live music coming. Here's Bob Fossil.
All right. Once again, we're Bob Fossil. The song is called Dissipate.
Been staring down at the same wooden boards and these shanty balconies for 3 months left to see every single splinter part of me. Some things conclude even before they ever begin. I guess I liked the idea of ubiquity. Of an always moving, ever beating dream. I know, no matter where I go, you'll always be with me. Some things conclude even before they ever begin. I guess I like the idea of ubiquity. I won't refuse assistance. Not afraid to reach out anymore, 'cause I broke the barrier that stands in my way. Then falls away, rumbles away, dissipate, dissipate.
Thanks again to Northwest Straits Foundation, Stone's Throw Brewing Company, Subdued Studios for having us. It's been really nice to connect with you all virtually. Keep donating to your local nonprofits to do all the things that are, can affect positive change and make positive change in your community. This is our last song. This song is called Big Data. It's off our EP Learning Curve, which can be found everywhere on the internet.
Big data has taken us all. You're all but soul. I can't sleep at night without you by my side. Oh, I need your blue light. Emit my desires. Tell me what to buy. Suggest what I should read. I'm an input, victim of isolation. I'm an input, victim of isolation. Convenience is a killer today. Convenience, oh, it's here to stay. Convenience is a killer today. Convenience, oh, it's here to stay. Create my everything. No impulses I need. Stupidity, ignominy. It's so relative. Staring you'll achieve. If I can be you, can I still be me? I think it's hard to break out of isolation. I think it's hard to break out of isolation. I think it's hard to break out of isolation. I think it's hard to break